Are you at True Life Studios?
What up, though, brothers and sisters? This is another episode of Couch Conversations.
Are you at True Life Studios?
I'm here with Kennedy Taylor. Craig, you either working, you was in school, but now you graduated. How do you feel about graduating?
It's good. I'm happy. It's like a big weight is lifted off your shoulders. If you in college or you have plans on going to college and you on that journey, like the whole time you're in college is like you looking forward to that end, that end, that end. Like everybody that's in college, we all go to people's graduations like on a consistent basis until it's your turn. And then when it's your turn, it's like, dang, it's really my turn. Like so it's just like a big weight lifted off your shoulder. And then it's just like, dang, something that you've been looking forward to for like years is actually here.
The whole reason for this conversation is because I just posted a video about my college experience. Check that video out. But why did you decide to go to college?
I feel like I wanted to go to college because one, I didn't have everything figured out yet. Like I kind of knew what direction I wanted to go in, but I really wanted the experience, the chance to meet new people, like live on my own and kind of all of that. When my senior year came, at the beginning of the year, I kind of was like still kind of decided what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to like go into dental, but I was trying to figure out like, is that really what I want to do? Or like, do I just like doing it for now? Like, could this really be a career for me? And so I feel like college kind of give you that platform to still figure out what you want to do and then like accomplish something at the same time. So I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do going into my freshman year. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know if that was going to be my passion. And so just kind of still figuring that out. It gave me the time and space to figure that out and then like work on something I'm passionate about, which is education. Like I always been good in school. I always liked school. I knew I would excel like in college. So that was kind of my thought process on it. Just give me the time to figure that out, like career wise, while also like getting that degree under my belt.
Did me going to college influence you going to college at all?
No, not really. Like when you went to college, it was cool and all. Like I think when I remember, like when you had like applied or whatever the case was, and the letter had came in the mail, and you was like, I got into college. I was like, oh my god, I didn't think this could happen. Like wow. So it was cool, like seeing that, and then us like dropping you off and stuff. I wouldn't say it was the sole reason, but it was like definitely like I definitely noticed it or whatever. And yeah, like I just definitely did not want to be at home. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember when I had to live in that hotel?
Yeah, I remember when we
Yeah.
dropped you off. You was in that hotel for like a while, and then like you had moved into the apartment and stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to go and leave and be by myself.
Okay, so my perspective of I told the story on a YouTube video, but so my first time in college, I had moved. This was after I lived in that hotel. I had moved to my apartment. I had started KVCC or whatever, and then I went to my first college party. And when I went to my first college party, it was like in Fratville. It was like a like area with a whole bunch of frat houses or whatever. And we go, and I get to the door, and it was like, um, I need your Western ID. I didn't go to Western. I went to KVCC, so they was acting bougie about it. But
Really? I
yeah,
did not know that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I didn't. That was a culture shock for me because I didn't know, like, when you go to parties, like college parties, they ask for your school
Well, so
ID.
for my experience, it's a little different going to HBCU. I only can speak for HBCU. If you don't know, a HBCU is a historically black college or university. So it is a little different than going to a white institution. So I really don't know nothing about that. I'm not gonna lie, but I do see. Like I could see that because sometimes like when we were freshmen and you're only 18, they would be like, oh, like you can get into the party with your college ID.
Yeah.
But like I live in a big area. Like I went to school in Houston, so
Yeah.
like it wasn't like, oh, you got to go to this school, you got to go to school because there's so many schools right here.
So
yeah, that's crazy. I did not know that.
yeah, that was crazy, and it's so funny because I I went to KVCC, the community college next to Western University, and if you don't know, Western, their biggest rival is Central. And when I was with people who went to Western when I went to that party, so they let me in, and I had my KVCC ID, so they let me in. And in the basement, they had "fuck the chips" painted on the wall. I just thought that was so crazy. The first party too. I do want to hear about that as well.
Okay, so first I want to say, I am speaking on behalf of my experiences. I do not speak for Already Incorporated for legal purposes. Secondly, so basically, if you don't know, or if you're not in college, um, or even if you just go to like a predominantly white school, you don't know about black fraternities and sororities. The black fraternities and sororities are under, we call it D9. It's 9 different organizations, including frats and sororities. I am a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the first sorority under the D9. And basically, I mean, what you do to get in is you literally apply. Like, you have to have the grades, you have to have the community service, and like just kind of not having, I wouldn't say anything negative, but you have to carry yourself in like a good way.
Mhm.
And that was kind of really it. Like,
Do you have to apply to college, you get accepted, then apply to a fraternity?
So how that goes. So, to be in a sorority or fraternity,
Mhm.
for D9, you have to go to college, number one. So like, you can't just like not go to college or not have been, like, you have to have a degree or be in the process of getting a degree to even apply. So I applied as an undergraduate. You can apply as a graduate as well, but like I said, you have to have a degree. And so when you come on campus, I would say like your freshman, sophomore year, you're kind of like learning about Greek life and like seeing it on campus and like just kind of learning what's out there. Like, my mom is in Alpha Kappa Alpha too, so like I kind of had some knowledge, but I never had like a firsthand experience and kind of like seeing all that. Now, what I will say is when I went on the college tour, I think that was like my junior year of high school. I had toured like a lot of different colleges and I seen a little bit of Greek life, but it's just different like when you get on campus and see it firsthand. So yeah, like I kind of just paid attention. Like, you kind of just look out for different stuff. Sophomore, freshman year, they usually don't take freshmen, so like you kind of get into that like your sophomore year.
Dang, so you can't be a freshman and join a.
You can. It just depends on your, like, I have a freshman on my line, but like, it's not going to be a whole bunch of freshmen. It's going to be more like sophomore. Sophomore is like the best time to apply to an organization, because it's like you're not super new to college where you can't handle it, and then like you're not about to graduate where you don't have any experience. So they like sophomore, junior, what I would say, I feel like. But yeah, so you can be a freshman, but I didn't apply my freshman year because, mind you, I'm just getting to campus. I'm trying to fill it out. Each school, they're like, we're all the same organizations. I mean, like, my org is my org, but at each school it's going to be different. So each chapter, they might move a different type of way. So I feel like freshman year, you want to get on campus and see, like, okay, you might thought you wanted to be an AKA, but when you got to your campus, you might not have liked the AKAs. They might not have, you might not have a good reaction to them or had a good experience or interaction with them that made you not want to do it anymore or something like that. So freshman year, you kind of just fill it out. Then sophomore year, I knew I wanted to apply or whatever, and so you kind of just stay on the lookout for that information before applying. Like, I went to their events and just kind of like supported them and like seen what they were doing on campus, and definitely just going to their events, like staying tuned in on their Instagram and stuff. And then when it came time to apply, I submitted my application and I got in. That was really it.
Okay, so circling back to when you first started college, your first college party, what was that like? No, okay, so look, let me, before you answer, for me, I really don't remember, but I swear um I think I went to a college party before I started class, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it
So okay, so it's a little different. Usually that is sometimes how it goes because I mean, as a freshman, you get onto campus like a
right? A
little
little
bit
bit
before
early
school
before.
starts.
Yeah, yeah, right.
The problem with that for me was we started during COVID. So
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
we were supposed to originally come to school in August. They had
Mm-hmm.
pushed us back to September 9th, and we ended up not being able to be on campus till September 9th. So that's another thing that's kind of different about my college experiences.
COVID.
I came during COVID. So like
Mm-hmm.
my school before COVID was like party school, like lit, like one of the littest schools, like in Houston and all of that. But like that kind of 4 years that I was there, it was like kind of died down, and then now it was kind of just back on the come up.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, I'm gonna say my first party that I remember going to, because I don't think I went to a party before that was Halloween. So like I got there in September. I didn't go to a party until October. It was like I wouldn't say okay. So for us, it wasn't like frat. Okay, so going to school in Texas, a lot 9 times out of 10, um, you're gonna be at a party like on a ranch, like on just like land. Like
Yeah,
it's
it was so fun because at Western, it was like college town. It was like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it was like a neighborhood with like
yeah.
a whole bunch of different houses,
Yeah,
and
no,
it was
it's
just
not like well, I've heard that too. Like I've seen like schools like that too, but it's not like if you don't go to school in Texas, because even like going to like visit my friends' schools, like where they
Mm-hmm.
go to school, like
was
going
it
to
a big
Cheyenne.
difference?
Yeah, well, how they operate is way different, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like different based on where you at. And Texas is kind of just a little different in general. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so freshman year, like the parties that you could get into were gonna be like campus parties or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that like let everybody in, like that are not just 21 and up. Now we went to stuff like after later in the year we did start going to like 21 and up stuff, but for the most part, like we just went to like the actual college parties.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was a Halloween party. I was like with my homegirls. It was like me, Amaya, this girl Taylor. I think us three had rode together because I didn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Amaya, I don't think she had a
Hold
car.
on, pause.
What is it?
Nothing. I just want to turn the light on. Make sure I don't like to see my light.
Yeah, so like it was just like a couple girls that I had met, and then I'm trying to remember if that was the same year. I don't know. But I just know like I remember we get there and it's literally a field, like it's a big old field. And like so everybody's like parking their cars like on the grass or whatever. And then we stood in this long line. We finally get up there. I think we had like pre-sales or like they used to do like repost the flyer, you can get in free or whatever the case is. So it was like something like that. We got in and it was cool, but it was cold for some reason. Like it was really, I just remember it being really cold. It was really packed. It was outside, and then like everybody was there. Of course, like we was drinking and stuff. At
Nothing
this,
funny happened that night.
yeah. Well, okay. I would say the thing that had happened this night that make me remember it being my first party is
Mm-hmm.
so I was like drunk and we all had rode together or whatever, and so we get back in the car, and I don't know for some reason like I just felt like the girls that were my friends like they didn't like me for some reason, so I was crying. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I called my friend.
Oh my goodness.
I called my friend. Mind you, I'm in the back seat of their car, and I'm like, "Oh my god, these bitches don't like me."
You is crazy.
And so I'm on the phone with my friend, which is this girl at the time who's like not even my friend, but like she was never like my friend. Like I didn't know this girl in real life. She was like my internet friend, and I was on the phone with her, and they were like, she was like, can you get a phone to your friends, like. And I'm just in the backseat crying, and they're just like, "We're gonna make sure she gets back to her dorm." And I don't know, it was like the one girl, I just felt like she was like very judgmental. Even like later in our friendship, the one girl, she was like very judgmental and like very like, oh, I don't drink, I don't do that. Like, so if you do that, you kind of weird. And then me and my other friends were more like, oh, like we in college, like let's do whatever. And
Right.
so that first party, it was just like I was just literally crying. Like once we got to the car, I was crying like, "Oh my god, I want to go home. Oh
Mm.
my god, they don't like me. I miss Cheyenne. I miss Lexi." Da, da, da. And that was really it though. The rest of the night was cool. Like we were lit, and it's crazy because we went to another party for Halloween. There, that same place again. I think it was sophomore year
Yeah,
though,
I was outside.
and it was a foam party. Have you ever been to a foam
Heck, you know,
party?
I ain't, I thought phone parties was just like raves. I didn't.
No, we imagine how much black people at a foam party.
Yeah, I can't. I really can't.
So it was like we was at a foam party, and once again we're in a field, so like the foam is shooting out, and it's just mud, straight mud. And so I remember I had this wig on. This wig was so messed up. We were supposed to go to Miami for
Not the
spring
wig.
break or something like that. I had this wig on, and um yeah, the wig was all wet. My whole face was wet. My stuff was like wet, sliding,
Oh my goodness.
everything. And yeah, and then my friend, she bumped into my other friend and dropped her phone in the foam. So it's like mud. It's like deep mud, and then it's like foam everywhere. She can't see. So she dropped her phone in there. Her phone ended up getting like we're staying after the party's over. We're looking like in the mud for this girl phone. Everything. Finally found her phone. Phone was broke.
That's terrible.
And yeah,
I
but that
feel
was a
so
different
bad.
year. That was like sophomore
Okay,
year, I think.
so okay, you go to your first party, and you start in class at TSU for the first time. I don't know if you said you went to TSU, but
Oh yeah, I went to Texas Southern University.
yeah. So you start your classes. Do you remember, you know, the times your classes or what classes you had?
Okay, so once again, we was in COVID.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. You was in
we
COVID, so it was
literally
just
like
different.
okay, my first day. That's why we were not doing anything.
Uh
Like
huh.
we were not doing anything. I had class online. I had class.
Woo.
I had class online.
Mm-hmm.
So our freshman year, our first semester, I don't think we had class in person the whole freshman year.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
remember
remember. I
that.
don't think we even had it second semester. But
Yeah,
I know that first semester we definitely did not have class online.
yeah.
And then second semester I think they were still trying to transition, so we like did not have class online.
Mm-hmm.
But freshman year, I remember my first day of class too. I was literally mom had left like the dorms, and um it had to been like the following Monday or whatever. And it was like the following Monday. We literally all we had to do is log on to Zoom and like log on Zoom. Like that was it. Like or like log on Blackboard and listen to the teacher talk. And when I tell you, we did like I was already kind of good at school. So like in high school, I didn't have to pay attention to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how kind of how it was freshman year. It was like a continuation. Like I pretty much
Yeah,
knew everything.
I said that too. My first year of college was kind of like high school for real.
Yeah, like your first year is pretty much like if you did
Yeah,
like okay in high school you can do okay your first like 2 years of college. College didn't
yeah.
get real for me to the end because like I'm kind of naturally smart, so like I don't usually have to study to pass. And
Mm-hmm.
then even if I like don't study, I can like skim and like do better than most. And so freshman year, man, I was not studying nothing. It was one class though. I had and the only thing that was a barrier for the like learning on Zoom and stuff for me because
Mm-hmm.
like I'm pretty much self taught, but I had a it was chemistry one lab. So like if you know like if you're a science major, like a lab class, the whole point of a lab class is to do it a hands-on experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like working with chemicals, like you're actually doing something hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to have like a lab online was like dumb.
Yeah, that
Because it's
sounds
like
dope.
we're listening to her like tell us about an experiment, and then we're supposed to write a report about it like without doing it. So it's just dumb. And so
Yeah.
my chemistry one lab teacher, she was like I think she was like Middle Eastern or like Indian, and
Mm-hmm.
she had a
Two different
very
things.
something along the lines. She had a very thick accent. And so on Zoom, like I could not understand her. Like Zoom connection was
I think I
already not
remember you
good.
saying something about her back then. Like,
Yeah, and so I told her, I had sent her like emails. I was like, hey, is there anything else we could do? I had reached out to my advisor, like, I'm not picking up what you're putting down. And the whole concept of the class is really blowing me because like it's a lab and I'm sitting here listening to you talk about something we're supposed to be doing. And then you want me to like produce a result. And so I ended up dropping the class. Mama was like, if you're not going to pass it, because well, my thing was I didn't want to get lower than the C when I first came in to college, which I never got lower than the C, but I didn't want a C or whatever, because in my major, if you get a C minus, that's a fail. Damn. So you have to have a C plus and up. And so getting a C plus is like getting a D for me. So I dropped the class, and that was really it. I dropped the class, and I kept on with the rest of my classes. I ended up retaking that class, like I think like sophomore year, or like
so like you said, mom was a AK, and you became AK. In the AKA organization, did you get any type of benefits or anything because your mama was AK? Was it relevant at all?
So socially, I would say no. Like socially, people I feel like tend not to like legacies.
Really?
Well, it depends on your organization, but I feel like from my experience, it's not that they don't like legacies, but it's not like a, oh my god, you're a legacy, that's so cool. It's like,
right, that's how I thought it would be. Like, oh my god, you're a legacy, that's so cool.
It's kind of like, oh, you're a legacy, you get a handout.
Oh.
And so it's like not really like, I don't go around being like, oh, I'm a legacy, my mom's an AK. Like there will be, like there is some like AKs, they'll be like, oh yeah, my mom's an AK, like that's, all of that. But like I wasn't really big on like, oh, like just telling everybody I was legacy socially or anything like that. Like, but it's not nothing I could control. But as far as like the process, there is benefits to being a legacy. So that's really all I can say about that.
So you became AKA president, right? President of your chapter or whatever. What did you have to do to become that? Like, what extra did you have to do to become president? Did you just have to run and people vote for you, or did you have to do extra volunteer work, or did you, what did that look like?
It's kind of a combination of both. Of course, you can run as long as you like meet our requirements that we have for a president. You can just run and see if you win. But it also like, just like if you're running to like be the leader, the president of anything, like you kind of want to have a certain
background
resume.
Yeah,
you want to have a certain resume if you're running for something like that. And so for me, like I was very involved in my chapter always. I went to community service. I went to all the events. I held many positions before me becoming president. I didn't become president until my last year. And so like, yeah, I just was very, very involved always. Like I always was hands-on. I always was helping out. I always had a position. Yeah, so that kind of like, I wanted to be president. Like I knew when I crossed like, oh, one day, like I would love to be president, but I never was like moving intentionally to be president. And so like the things I was doing, like I was just doing them because I enjoyed to do it. Like I was involved because I liked being involved. I had positions because that's like what I like to do. And so like I never was like intentional about it. I never was even thinking about running for president until it got closer to that time and people were like expecting it from me. And not in a bad way, but people were like expecting it from me. Like they were like, I was the obvious choice.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know if that's what they thought, but that's how I felt. Like kind of like,
but you felt like everybody was like, okay, Kennedy should be doing
like I'm kind of the obvious choice to run.
Right.
And yeah, so that's literally what happened. I mean, I didn't really plan on it or like purposefully like do stuff to put myself in that position. I kind of did the stuff I like to do. And then it kind of just got me to that position. And then I ran. And I did not think I was going to win. I was like, I don't know, like it's like I have a lot of anxiety, so it was just
Mhm.
like a lot of anxiety around the situation. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna like me. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this, like,
Mhm.
or anything like that. And so I ran with just like the hope of like, hey, maybe I'll
Did you
win.
get hit with that thing?
No, I did not.
Is that like so? Is that like a real thing? Do people get hit
Alpha,
with that?
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is a non-hazing organization. We do not
Oh,
condone hazing
oh
or
yeah.
partake in any
Um,
hazing culture.
so a while back on the radio, it was actually a story about
The
uh
Q,
a kid who was in the hazing process and he died.
yeah, it just happened at Southern University. It was a Q. He was in the process and he passed away recently.
Do it really get that bad? Like, do people really like do serious hazing stuff when it comes to fraternities and sororities?
What I'll say is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is a non-hazing organization. I don't condone hazing or partake in any hazing activities.
Yeah.
As for other organizations, I've heard stories. I've never seen anything
Mhm.
firsthand or anything like that. I heard stories, but I do believe it is real because I mean, the boy from Southern died, and like people at my school knew him,
Mhm.
and like it's like very close. Like when you go to HBCU, like people are very
Tight knit.
interconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are very interconnected. So like Louisiana is not that far from Houston.
Yeah.
That
For
like their
real.
school, like we drive back and forth to their school, like they come to our school, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have a big game against them. Like we have a big sports, like they're like one, not our rival, but we have the Southern, it's like called
Mhm.
the Southern something. It's like Texas Southern versus Southern.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely very real, like
Mhm.
for some organizations.
Yeah. I didn't realize how well, now that we live in Texas, I realized, but I didn't realize how close Louisiana was to Houston for
Yeah,
real.
it's well, Michigan versus Texas is different because Texas you could drive 3 hours and still be in Texas. You could
Mhm.
drive 6 hours still be in Texas. You could drive 9 hours and still be in
For real.
Texas. So it is different, but Louisiana is close. I have, and that's another thing with AKA. I went to like all my conferences, like things like
Mhm.
that. And so, like, we had my first conference was in Louisiana in New Orleans, and that was my first
Oh
time going
wow.
out there, and being able to like experience that city and everything with it. So it definitely like opens a lot of doors for you, I would
Mhm.
say, and like it gives you a lot of experiences as a college student that you might not usually get,
Mhm.
especially with like traveling, just like meeting different people, meeting a different level of person, um stuff
So,
like that.
would do you think you would have had a different college experience if you would have went to a white, I mean, a university? Do you think you would have had a different college experience? Do you
uh
think it would have been better or worse, or like, what do you think?
Definitely. I think HBCUs, we have our pros and cons. I think if I think about it more in like a logical perspective and like just thinking like based off of academics and not experience,
Mhm.
I think I would have liked to attend. Like I don't think it would have been a negative attending a predominantly white institution. I think
Mhm.
their resources, their academics and stuff, there is a different level compared to, I would say, my university. I don't know about other HBCUs, but I know for
Mhm.
my university, there is a different level. Just like with how they run things and the access we have because we don't have as much money as them.
Mhm.
Like we're across the street from University of Houston, and their campus is 3 times the size of our
Mhm.
campus. They have
Yeah.
3 times as much money. They
Yeah.
get
It
three.
look it visually, if
Yeah, you can tell.
when you look at University of Houston, when you look at TSU, you can definitely tell like who got more money when you just look at both
Yeah, you can tell.
campuses.
Like they have football fields, baseball fields. We don't even
Mhm.
have a. I mean, we have a football field on campus, but we don't have like a football stadium. Like we don't play at our school. We play at the field downtown, and
Mhm.
so it's like a soccer field that we play on. And so yeah, it's definitely a difference. Like as far as
Mhm.
like money and resources, and like because I felt like with my major and the direction I wanted to go in, I went to my advisor straight up and I was like, hey, who's in my department? Who's in this school that can help me become a dentist that can help me in the dental field. And they straight up told me, like, I don't have no one that can help you with that. Like,
Wow.
I don't have anyone. Like, you know, so the resources is different. Or and then if we do have a health professions person, but it's not specifically catered to dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and he's a pharmacist, which he's very cool. I love him to death. But it's like we only have one person. Like where you go to a white school, they have multiple resources.
Did you ever think about going to University of Houston or any other college? Do you have like any other choices?
Okay, wait. First, back to the first question. So yeah, I feel like academically going to a PWI, I would probably be interested in that. But experience wise, I wouldn't trade my experience for like any other school. And I say that because like TSU, people talk about us like a lot of even the other HBCUs, they're talking about us like y'all school trash. Y'all so small. This and the third, because we're even small for like compared to the other HBCUs. But it's like definitely a family environment, and it's like I don't want to go to nothing too big where you're just like a number, like you're just someone in the background.
Yeah.
And so I feel like going to my university definitely allowed me to get a experience.
So pause right there. So I think that people who go to TSU and people who verse the athletes that verse TSU, like in sports and stuff. I feel like all of those people say what you said, like TSU trash, blah blah blah. But I feel like everybody else who don't go to college be like TSU a lit HBCU. You know, Drake got the TSU song.
Yeah,
I think people like who don't go to college be like, oh yeah, TSU lit. Like you said before, a while ago, TSU had a reputation of like being like a lit. Party school
we were definitely that school. Like I'm telling you, before 2020, like even when I wanted to go to school, and it was I knew I wanted to go to HBCU, and when I was looking up the HBCUs, the only video I seen, I seen like 3 videos of TSU, but I seen this video, it's probably still on YouTube. If you look up like Texas Southern University, whatever, it was a pool party they had at school, and it's like at our pool at school, and it's literally like just a whole bunch of people like packed out, like it's so many people in there, they're about to fall in the water. Like no one's in the water.
I think I seen that video.
Yeah, like no one's.
I'm gonna clip that video in the middle of this interview.
No one's in the water, but it's like packed in there, like packed. People got their cameras out, like they recording. Everybody.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so
that was like 2020.
Yeah, like that like video and like some of the other videos on YouTube. Like our school was definitely a party school. Our school is definitely like lit and all of that. We just not that good at sports. Like
I think your school is one of the schools that like went viral during COVID, because like people was like having pool parties and stuff like that. I think.
Well, it was really like right before, like it was really before COVID. Like so, 2019, like 2019, like TSU was like really peaking.
Yeah.
And so like some of those videos, like they surfaced like later and stuff, but they come from that. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I just feel like we're lit, but we're not always the best in sports. Like I was just really our football team. Like I went to school, like our basketball team, we made it to the Sweet 16 3 times in a row, like during my years. So like our basketball team was pretty good for a couple of years. And our women's basketball team was like undefeated last year, the whole like most of the season or something like that. So like it just depends. So I wouldn't trade the experience.
Oh no, my second question was, what was your second choice? Did you have any? Was you University of Houston second?
Okay, so as far as going to a school that was not an HBCU, no. I applied.
When you was going to college, you was like, I'm going to HBCU.
Yeah. So after I went, I didn't know what an HBCU was before I went on the HBCU tour. So mom sent me on a tour, literally, and it went from Michigan to Florida. Every HBCU we stopped, and we had a college visit at every HBCU from Michigan to Florida.
Side fact, I used to lie and tell people that I went on that tour. That's where I got that Tennessee University hoodie from, but I never went on that tour.
That hoodie is mine. But so after I went on that, I knew that I wanted to go to the HBCU. I always knew that I was not staying. Well, when I decided I was going to college, I was like, I'm not staying in Michigan. I applied to Central Michigan because mom was like, you need to apply to Michigan school, or like I'm gonna kill you, basically. So I applied to Central Michigan, but I was never going to Central Michigan.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go to Central Michigan. Central Michigan. Look, let me tell you something about Central
never
Michigan.
going to Central.
Like have you been there?
No.
So look,
I've been to Michigan State, and I was around U of M, but I never went to U of M's.
So like I said, Western, they rival was Central.
Yeah.
When I tell you, Kennedy, you would have hated. Like when I tell you, Central was the most white people I've ever seen in my life. Central was like white people heaven. It was a.
I feel like all Michigan schools are though.
Yeah, it is. Western was too, but Western had a lot of black people. Western.
Yeah,
had a lot
I feel like Western is definitely like I see more people, but like a lot of my even like people that I went to like that I knew from Michigan, a lot of them went to like Michigan State, or U of M. But yeah, I don't think that experience was for me. Michigan College was not ever going to be for me. That was not even a thought in my mind to be staying in Michigan. Which most kids be like, no, I'm going to school. Like most people that go to my school go to school are from Louisiana or they're from like Dallas or from somewhere in Texas. Yeah. So when I came, they was like, girl,
why you come here?
You can't. Yeah, people always ask me like, girl, you came all the way over here. Like, why would you come all the way here?
Yeah.
But wait.
Oh, go ahead.
So my other choices. So me and my friend group, we kind of was like, we all wanted to go out of state. We all applied to most of the same schools, but like with COVID starting and all of that, like my grades really wasn't like I really did not care once COVID starting for the end of my semester. So like my classes, I would have had a higher GPA, but they put us on pass fail, and with pass fail, it doesn't increase your GPA. And so like my GPA wasn't really where I wanted it to be. I applied to FAMU, NCAT. I applied to most of the HBCUs, like FAMU, NCAT, Tennessee State. But the three that we were looking at as a friend group was FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, which is in Daytona Beach.
I'm glad you didn't go there because
Tennessee State.
That sound like some niggas go there. That sound like it's in the middle of Mississippi.
It's actually I love Daytona. I went there for a tour. It's on Daytona Beach. Is like so like university I could care less about, but Daytona Beach is so pretty. Daytona Beach is the prettiest beach I've ever been to.
Oh yeah.
Like top tier. But like if you're from Florida, you probably don't think that. But anyways, the ones I was kind of looking at was Bethune-Cookman, Tennessee State, FAMU, and like TSU. Bethune, I didn't really want to go to Bethune.
I hate that name.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to Bethune. It wasn't really my vibe. It was like they had like when we went there, they were strict. Like, and it's crazy. It sounded like a fun, good time, but like they're kind of a stricter university. It was like something about when we were there. I just did not like it when we were there. Tennessee State was a real option for me, but I wanted to go to school somewhere where like I could live potentially in the future, and I didn't want to be in Tennessee. Like I didn't want to be in Tennessee for an extended period of time. But I definitely liked Tennessee State. At FAMU, I really liked the school, but it was another thing of like I didn't really want to be in Tallahassee. But I really, really did want to go to FAMU. And then NCAT, I didn't know anything about like North Carolina, but I was like, this school is like NCAT is like one of the top like HBCUs. I didn't get into NCAT. And FAMU was hard to get into. I wouldn't say hard to get into, but you gotta have.
Don't you got a friend that got into there?
Yeah.
Who?
Cheyenne.
Oh yeah. Is Cheyenne smart?
Yeah, she's smarter than me. I cheated off Cheyenne every math class from Algebra 1 when we were in middle school all the way to high school. We was in the same math class.
Oh, hello there.
You just watched the episode of Couch Conversations. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Silly rabbit.
Are you at Two Life Studios?